that's okay, but we will allow this to go live. So welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. So excited that you are here with me today. I see some of you have liked the comment. Again, if you are here, let me know that you are here by simply putting fam so we can recognize you. And for those of you who are not able to join us for live, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put comments into the post so that we know you had the opportunity to learn from some of these tidbits. Hey, my niece, I see your beautiful, lovely face out there. So happy that you are here. Tiffany, I love you, Sora. I'm glad to see that you are here with me this evening. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to share some tools and tips to help you guys as you continue to move forward in your journey, always recognizing the joy. So some of you have jumped on because you are wondering, what are those 2 ways that you currently speak that are impacting your relationship? But before we do that, I want to go ahead and tell you a little bit about who is this Janelle, here with you each Tuesday for Talk to Me Tuesdays. I have the distinct honor and pleasure of assisting individuals in identifying and removing their relationship roadblocks in order to receive and reciprocate love with their soulmate. So that is my distinct pleasure. I am thankful that I have that honor. But it's so important for me not just to simply talk about what I do, but to be able to show you what I do as well. So here is a quick video to share with you. Who exactly is this Janelle Clarke-Holley? Well, wonderful. Now you guys got to learn a little bit more about what it is exactly that I do. This week, if you are part of the Empowering Your Relationship family, I know that I gave you a challenge of spending at least 10 minutes a day with someone who brings you joy. And I really want you guys, for those of you who are part of this community, who are single, I often hear you say, well, does a significant other, do they garner who that person is that brings you joy? And my answer is absolutely not. Sometimes those of us who are in relationships, we may find that that individual is not bringing us joy, and that's okay. So today I had the opportunity outside of work to spend 10 minutes with my 2 beautiful daughters. So if you have supported me in doing the challenge this week, drop in the comments and let me know who you spent those 10 minutes of joy with. For some of you, I hope that you got to spend 10 minutes just being by yourself and enjoying what that is. As a mother of 2 young children, I don't always get to have those quiet times to myself, and that's okay because they do bring me joy. However, I can see that my niece is out here single, mingling, and loving on herself. So you better rock it, okay? So with that, I want to not hold you up too long. I definitely want to talk to those 2 areas that I mentioned today that we're going to be talking about in the way that you speak that's impacting your relationship. So the number 1 way that people are speaking that are ultimately negatively impacting their relationship is you're speaking to be heard. Now, that seems contradictory to what we've always been taught. You do speak to be heard. However, if I were to play in the background for you music in Swahili, that does not mean that you will understand it. So when we speak in our relationships, are we clear? Are we concise? Are we compelling if we're asking people to do something? Or are we simply speaking out loud? Are we cognizant of our body language? Are we aware of our tone? I always say that sometimes I am loud. However, when I am quiet, there is power in your quietness. So think about what exactly is the purpose for you to speak. I've often heard as a little girl, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Therefore, you should be speaking half the amount of time that you are actually listening, right? So last week I got on here and I shared with you the 3 ways that people listen. We talked about what the cause was. People listen for a pause and people listen for flaws. Well, today I want to share with you, when you speak and you're asking others to listen to you, are you aware? Hey, Lex, I see you showing me that love. I love you right back, beautiful girl. So with that, we really want to make sure that we are doing, and when we speak, we want to speak not just to be heard. We want to speak so that people stop, so people listen, so people determine what is the message that we have. Oftentimes, I too have been guilty of this, where we go through the experience where we are talking and talking and talking, and you can sometimes pick up on people's body language when they are no longer listening to you. At that moment, you should be willing to stop. However, for most of us, we're like, oh, you're going to keep listening to me until I'm finished making my point. But if they're not listening to you and they're not hearing you, what are you doing? How are you expelling your energy? So for those of you who I say who are single out here, who are really living their best lives, discovering who you are, this is a time that when you spend dating, getting to meet new people, are you truly allowing yourself to be heard? Or are you speaking for that number 2 reason, which is the most critical reason, which is to be understood? I really challenge all of the single ladies who are in the Empowering Your Relationship group to ensure that when you speak to anyone who you think is worthy of spending your time with them, that you truly are working towards making sure that person is not just hearing you, but that that individual is making sure that they understand you. One of the things that it's so important when you are dating is to make sure that you are clear and concise in your messaging. Do not allow the conversations to not allow you to be your authentic self. And understanding who you are and the wonderful time that you have during that singlehood is really about discovering your brilliance. So make sure that when you speak, you are speaking with intentionality. You are also speaking to make sure you are authentic to your true voice. Again, I'm seeing these comments coming in here. I'm speaking to be understood, but heard loudly. And again, I thank you for that. But when we are loud, when we are boisterous, sometimes the message isn't received. But understand that means that you need to make sure that the language that you choose, your body posture, again, there is nothing like saying, no, I don't want to do something, but all of your actions support that you're okay with someone not respecting what you are saying. So again, make sure that when you are opening your mouth, you are thinking through. It is okay to pause. It is okay to take your time before you respond, because some people will put you there. They will go ahead and make a comment, ask you a question, and you're like, I cannot even believe you would ask me that. And what I want you to do is to sometimes, again, these are tips and strategies I've shared with you before. Take those 3 seconds. Take those 3 seconds to determine, is this conversation something I want to engage in? Is this a conversation I want to move forward in? Or is this a conversation that's not worthy of my time because this person is not in a receptive place to be able to understand me? So again, I charge you all. And for those of you who are similar to myself, you're either married or you're in a committed relationship. Again, when you speak to your significant other, and during these times of COVID, there is so much time to talk to your significant other, right? That's a topic for a different day. So a lot of people are like, how are we looking at these statistics that are out here regarding the unfortunate increase in domestic violence? How are we dealing with, again, no one committed. And I love my husband dearly. Those of you who know me know I love him. However, I did not, and neither did he, commit to being together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when we got married almost a decade ago. No one did. No one writes in their vows because no one has that expectation. But COVID has really caused all of us to figure out, how do we improve our communication? Because we're seeing these people all day long, not just for a week, not just for a month, but months on end. And right now, it's not looking any better. So it's really important that we're using some of these strategies in any relationship that we have, that we're determining when we want to speak, not to be heard, but we truly are speaking because we want to be understood. So for those of you who are joining me live, I want you to put in the comments today, think about one opportunity you had to talk to someone. Was there any intentionality? So tell me today, did you speak to be heard or did you speak to be understood? I love it. I love it. I love it. So some of you are also joining me. We're trying a new platform on Instagram, and a lot of you are saying, oops, I spoke today just to be heard. Ooh, I was talking loudly to my significant other. Okay, some of you are telling me both. It depends. Some of you are saying, understood. All right. So again, these are things that I really want us to be very intentional about when we move forward. And again, the information that I'm sharing with you is information intended for your current or your future relationships. But many of the individuals who I do have the pleasure of working with share with me, I use these strategies with my kids, with my parents, with my coworkers, right? Today, for me, I was involved in several meetings at work, and that's what I did. And people said, you're not speaking up. And I said, well, I don't have anything to share right now because everything that I would say has been said. So it's okay sometimes to not have your voice be said, because when people don't hear it often, when you do open your mouth, they want to hear what's coming out. So again, I like to come on quickly and give you the Talk to Me Tuesdays with the quick bits of information. As you guys continue to commit to the challenge of spending at least 10 minutes a day with someone who brings you joy, that can be yourself, your significant other, that can be a loved one who you haven't connected with in a long time. I want you to make sure in those 10 minutes, if you are communicating, you are truly holding on to these tips and you are communicating in order to be understood and not just heard. We want to make sure that as all of us, as we close out 2020, we move forward with the brilliance that we have in all of us. So I want to thank you all for jumping on with me today. I look forward to joining you next week. Continue to send me those requests for topics that you want me to share some snippets on and to give you some nuggets to continue to strengthen those relationships. I thank you. Have a wonderful week and continue to stay blessed. Take care, everyone.